What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to sit down and talk a little bit about how to bulk in college, pretty much. So by no means am I an expert or anything on nutrition or bulking up or any of this kind of stuff, but it's what I've learned in my experience as being my first year in college. So pretty much almost having a whole year. This is what I've learned, and gaining 20 pounds of pretty much muscle while being here in college. I'm gonna break this down into about 4 steps for you guys about how to bulk up in college. Alright guys, so step 1 is simply going to be eating in a caloric surplus. So in order to do that, I believe you need to find your caloric maintenance, which is basically how many calories you need to eat for your body just to maintain its weight. So this would be the amount of calories that you eat for your body, not to change its weight at all. So I'd highly recommend looking up one of these calculators, so an RMR or a BMR calculator. So it'll be like a resting metabolic rate or basal metabolic rate calculator, which will kind of give you a rough estimate on where your maintenance level is. So I'd say start eating around that amount of calories that it tells you based off of your weight and your height and a number of other factors. So start eating about that much, and you'll kind of need to adjust and find where you are to where your weight stays even and stays the same. And then once you kind of find that level, you've kind of found your maintenance level of calories, and from there I'd suggest adding about 500 calories to that, because you want to be eating, like I said, in a caloric surplus, which means you're eating more calories than your body simply needs. By adding 500 calories over the course of a week, so 7 days, 7 times 500, that's about 3,500 calories of a surplus per week, and there's about 3,500 calories in a pound. So if you're eating in a surplus of about 500 calories per day, you're going to technically gain about 1 pound per week. This is probably about a good amount right there. You don't want to be gaining weight too fast, obviously. So limit that weight gain to about like 1 to 2 pounds per week. And in doing this, you want to make sure you're pretty much weighing yourself every day in the mornings. I highly suggest doing that. I've been doing that for a while now, just to kind of monitor how your weight is changing. So if it's staying the same, you know to eat a little bit more or add a little bit more to that surplus, right? If it's changing way too fast, you're gaining like 3-4 pounds per week, then you know to cut back a little bit. I'd highly recommend staying at about 1 pound per week of muscle or of gain, 1 to 2 pounds per week. That way you're not putting on too much fat and not putting on as much muscle. We want to keep this as lean as possible and put on the most muscle we can while reducing the amount of fat we put on. So I highly recommend using an app called MyFitnessPal to track your calories. So this app, like I'm showing here, you can add in your foods. You could just scan the back of whatever you're eating, scan the barcode, it'll pop right up in here. You can search for whatever you want to eat, and it'll show you all the macros, so your protein, fats, and carbs. It'll show you the calories for that, and you can kind of add those up, estimate to about the amount of calories that you're aiming for in the day. So especially in a bulk, I don't think you need to track every single day. It could get very extremely tedious, actually, because say for me, eating like 4,000 calories a day, if I were to track that every single day, it's a lot of food to track over time. So I highly recommend just kind of the first couple days track and kind of figure out, say you're aiming for 3,500 calories as your surplus, aim for that amount and track that for a couple days, kind of figure out how much food you need to eat, and then after you kind of figure that out, then just eat that similar amount of food and estimate it to be about that much every single day. And like I said, double check yourself with your weight, your morning weights every day. And just kind of estimate after you kind of figure out how much food you need to eat based on tracking using the app MyFitnessPal. Now for your protein content, I definitely suggest eating about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Essentially, you just need to give your body enough protein overall to be in an anabolic state and be building muscle constantly. So you want to constantly have that protein synthesis going, so you want to constantly have protein in your body. You don't need an overabundance of protein, you just need to make sure you have enough. So I highly recommend getting about 1 gram of protein per body weight. Then as for carbs and fat, I'd say fats, aim for maybe about half, like 0.5 grams of fat per pound of body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, probably about 100 grams of fat while you're bulking. You could probably go less than that if you really want to, and then fill the rest in with your carbs. So mainly it's going to be about making sure your protein intake is high enough and making sure your calorie level is high enough. And then other than that, you're gonna fill in your carbs. A majority of your eating is going to be carbs. Like when I'm bulking up, it's gonna be like, 500 carbs per day, 200 some protein, and then like 100 fat, something like that. So, all right, so for step 2, for actually getting your food and your calories and protein in while you're on campus, there's a couple different options you have. So I know at Ohio State, and I'm sure with many other colleges around the country, you have a couple different options. So you can go to the big dining halls, which are like cafeteria, like buffet style, right? So we have like 2 or 3 of those on campus here. And you've also got like the smaller dining halls, which are like restaurant style, kind of like grab and go, just pick up your burrito or, whatever you're getting for the day, and then, get on your way. You have basically those 2 options. At the big dining hall, cafeteria, buffet style ones, there's a lot of options for sure, but I feel like there's not that many necessarily very healthy options, especially with protein. One of the only like big sources of protein you can get at the buffet style dining hall is this like grilled chicken. It's like very, like dry, like no flavor or anything. That's about all they have. They got like some, fried chicken, stuff like that. But it's very limited on your like healthier protein options, honestly. So I honestly prefer to go to some of those smaller restaurant style ones, because you can, like I said, the Curl Market that I always go to, that's one of those ones. You can just pick up your food and go, save you time, and also you get very simple foods too. You can get the rice bowls. Have rice. They have just shredded chicken, vegetables, put some sauce on there. You can get burritos with, rice, chicken, same thing, beans, all that, cheese. They have sandwiches with like turkey. You can get ham, different chicken, stuff like that. So I feel like there's more options in that sense. More of the healthy options, more protein type of options compared to going to the dining halls with the buffets. So I prefer going to those ones. And also, it saves you a lot more time. Like it's just so much more convenient when you just pick up your food and go, especially when you're busy, you got a lot of homework, got classes to go to and everything. It's hard to just sit down like, 3-4 times a day and try to get all those calories in at the dining hall. You gotta sit there for like a half hour and, eat all those different times throughout the day. So it's easier for me personally, especially just going to Curl Market, picking up a rice bowl or a burrito and just heading back to the dorm, eating it and doing some homework or whatever. So obviously you can eat more food at the buffet style ones because it's unlimited, so you can obviously eat more there, which is good. I still go there sometimes for that reason, but you just technically can't get as many protein options, stuff like that. So and it's just not as quick overall. And at Ohio State, and I'm sure at a lot of other colleges too, they have all the nutritional information and like the menus online. So this is just at Curl Market, the shredded chicken for like the burritos. It gives you the macros and everything right there. So you should be able to look up all this stuff and combine with MyFitnessPal, kind of estimate and track along the way throughout the day how much you're getting in. So this is like 22 grams of protein, 4.5 fat, 0 carb for the chicken. You can look at, the pasta. They should have all the different macros on there for everything, so that's very helpful whether you're going to the buffet style dining halls or the restaurant style dining halls as well. It's very helpful to have that, so definitely look that up, see if you have the menus online. Now, so let's say you get a majority of your calories and everything in at the dining hall. So the day you have like 3 big meals, you're aiming for like 4,000 calories in the day. You've hit about 3,000 so far. You had your meal at like 7 o'clock, right? And it's like 9 o'clock at night. So I highly recommend having some foods in your dorm for those times as well. So especially the times during the middle of the day when you need something else to eat, when you don't have a chance to go to the dining halls, or later at night, like I was saying, after your dinner, like you need things to eat, later on to get the rest of your calories in. So say you have like 1,000 calories left, here are some good options of things that I keep in my dorm all the time, keep stocked in the fridge and just in here overall, just to get more calories, get more protein in. So definitely oatmeal. I'll have this like every single morning pretty much for my breakfast. You can have it like any time of the day, honestly, help you get some calories in. And along with this, I'll throw some peanut butter in there. right? So I'll get some extra protein, extra calories, like 200 calories in here, like 130 in here, throw a couple servings of this in there. Peanut butter is also really good for, you could throw it on pretzels, throw like 2 servings of this on some rice cakes and stuff like that. It'll get you at like 400 calories, 14 grams of protein, real quick right there. So peanut butter's extremely good option as well. Always have plenty of this around. Also, these ready rice packets, so you get like many different brands. I think this is the Aldi brand. Uncle Ben's brand is really good too. But these have like 440 calories. You know, you get like 10 grams of protein here, almost all carbs other than that. So if you need some extra carbs, extra calories at the end of the night, these definitely help. Add that with, you know, a protein shake or something. That'll definitely help you get some calories and some protein. And believe it or not, I definitely have a lot of ramen noodles as well. These are pretty much just straight carbs. Like, obviously there's a lot of sodium in them, but pretty much just straight carbs. 400 calories for like a package of these. You're getting a whole bunch of carbs in. Like, obviously it's not like the best carbs you can get, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get the rest of the calories in. So those are a real easy way to do that. Throw a couple packages in there and have some of those at the end of the night. Highly recommend getting some granola bars too. Always having granola bars stocked in the room because these have plenty of carbs, a little bit of protein, pretty simple. Also milk, you guys know I love milk. Always have one of these in the fridge. I just keep a gallon throughout the week pretty much. So highly recommend, if you guys have the chance, go to like one of the grocery stores around and just stock up on stuff for the week. Also, some beef jerky, really good as well. Lots of protein in there. On top of that, always keep my fridge stocked with a bunch of Greek yogurts. I'll, like I said at the beginning of the week, go to the grocery store, get a couple of Greek yogurts to have pretty much every morning with my breakfast, get some extra protein in the morning. And highly recommend these as well. I'll keep my fridge pretty stocked with these. They have them at like all the dining halls and stuff, so I'll buy a bunch of these and keep them in here. These are the Core Power Fairlife protein drinks. They have also just these Fairlife milks as well. These ones have like 16 grams of protein. These ones have like 26 grams of protein per. They also have like a 42 gram protein one. So these are always really good to have. The vanilla one's like super, super good. Even like sometimes I'll have like Pop-Tarts here and stuff too. Like sometimes you just need something to help you get the extra calories in. Like Pop-Tarts will be a quick 400 calories. I know it doesn't sound like the best thing to eat, but sometimes you do need to just add a couple of those things in per day just to help you get to that caloric limit that you need. So yeah, these are a few of the foods I always pretty much keep stocked around here. Definitely need these because, like I said, it'll get to like 9 o'clock at night and I need something to eat. And you know, I can't go all the way until the next morning before I eat again. So I definitely need some stuff around here, like those rice packets, stuff like that, to make sure I'm getting my calories in and make sure I'm not, you know, completely hungry too. All right, so step 3, we're gonna talk a little bit about supplementation. So I was already telling you about all those foods that I keep around here too, but this is some whey protein, right? So highly recommend having some of this in your room at all times, or having like a decent amount of this, because it's honestly really hard to get your protein in from everything you're just eating throughout the day, especially on a college campus. I could probably do a better job if I was able to cook for myself, but unfortunately don't really have anything to cook with here, so I'm pretty limited in that aspect. You know, if I go to the dining hall or whatever, to get my protein in, I have to have like 10 of those chicken breasts or whatever, and they're really not that good at at the one dining hall to begin with. So you know, if I have some chicken throughout the day from my rice bowl or from a burrito, or have some chicken breast, it's still gonna be a little bit shy of getting to your full amount of protein for the day. Especially me being 230 pounds, trying to get about 230 grams of protein in, you definitely need some of this to help you out. So this comes in clutch for sure. I have like 2 scoops of this every day. This will definitely come in handy. Also, highly recommend having some creatine as well. I'll take like 5 grams of this per day, just regular creatine monohydrate. It's pretty cheap. This is like 60 servings and it's very inexpensive. Like, you can get creatine in bulk for not very much money at all, and this will just honestly just help you with all your lifts and everything. It'll make you stronger in your lower rep ranges, and basically give your muscles more energy. So if you're stronger in those lower rep ranges, you can do more weight, more reps. You're essentially over time going to be able to build more muscle because your body's able to do more, so your muscles are going to have to grow. So definitely a good supplement to have, especially if you're lifting in college trying to bulk up. And then pre-workout will help as well. This is the BPN Flight pre-workout, so you don't necessarily need pre-workout or like any supplements necessarily, but I think it definitely helps, especially being in school and everything. Lots of work, lots of homework to do all the time. Sometimes you just need something to like kind of pick you up a little bit, get you awake and ready to go to the gym. So this stuff honestly definitely helps. So I think you shoot yourself pre-workout. Don't go crazy on the caffeine or anything, but definitely helps to wake yourself up after like a long day of classes and everything. So step number 4 is going to be making sure that you're progressing and hitting progressive overloads. This just means that you're increasing the number of reps you do, the weight you're doing, volume, increasing your range of motion, your form, you know, like decreasing your rest times, just somehow improving and progressing on what you're doing, improving from the last time you did it. So personally, I like to stick with the same general exercises and same workouts that I do for like, you know, 3 weeks up to like 2 months-ish, and then I'll change things up a little bit, but I like to keep things pretty consistent in my workouts and really just build off of each one of those exercises that I'm doing. So, you know, if I'm doing like a dumbbell incline press or something like that, I'll stick with that same movement, and, you know, say I'm using like the 90s or something like that. I just want to make sure that throughout those couple of weeks or a couple of months that I'm improving at that, and then I'll kind of change it up. I feel like some people change things up too frequently and everything, and there's really no chance to like kind of progress at anything too much at all because you're just constantly changing things up. So I like to stick with those same things and really progress at those. And I highly recommend getting yourself a training log or something. This is mine. Literally recorded like every set of every rep of every exercise I've ever pretty much done in here since like 9th grade. So pretty much have everything in here. So I'll just write down, you know, the number of sets, number of reps I did at a specific weight, and then the next time I know exactly how much I need to hit in order to progress. You know, at first, when you're first starting out, it's very easy to progress linearly, so doing something like this can definitely help. You can just, you know, constantly be trying to increase the number of reps or weight that you're doing. And if you mark that down, you know exactly every time you come into the workout what your goal is for how much you need to hit, and yeah, you can try to hit that goal and make sure that you're progressing each time. Progression is key, especially to building muscle, especially bulking in college. If your sets, reps, you know, volume, you're progressing over time, your body's gonna have to compensate for that, and you know, obviously improve itself. So it's going to build muscle as long as it has enough calories in your body. So as long as you're eating that caloric surplus and you're progressing, your body's gonna have to compensate and build muscle to, yeah, exactly, just to compensate for that, for the additional progress that you're making. And lastly, step 5 is going to be sleep. So pretty much you need enough sleep to recover. Obviously, I think you need like 6 to 7 hours at least to get enough sleep. And obviously, I'm not the best representative of that. Last semester, I was only sleeping like literally 5 hours a night, like 2 to 7 every night. This semester, I'm doing a little bit better. I'm going to bed pretty much by 1 and getting up at like 8 every day. So I'm getting myself some 7 hours of sleep, giving your body enough time to recover. So highly recommend just, you know, at least giving yourself like 6 to 7 hours. Sometimes it can be tough with, you know, exams and lots of different homework and stuff. But yeah, give yourself enough time to recover. It'll help your bulk, help with everything. You'll feel better in the gym. So highly recommend giving yourself enough sleep. That's gonna be a main priority for bulking up and building muscle. So those are my 5 steps to bulking up in college. So it's a pretty simple process, honestly, but especially in college, there's, you know, a lot of people are starting off for the first time. A lot of people are beginners. So there's some, you know, obviously some things you need to know. Like I said, pretty simple process, but you want to make sure that you're consistent with everything. That's the biggest thing, is being consistent with your workouts, being consistent with progressing every single time as much as you can, really. Being consistent with your eating. You want to make sure you're eating that same amount every day. Everything as consistent as possible. Going to the dining halls, eating as much, you know, food as you can throughout there, spacing out your meals, and then finishing off the rest of your calories in your dorm, having some foods around for you to finish off those calories, and also having, like I said, some protein supplements and things to help you hit that protein requirement for your day in your dorm. So having something like whey protein, even those protein shakes, like the Core Life ones, like I said, those will definitely help out a lot. Making sure you're progressing, getting yourself enough sleep and enough food, that's gonna be all you pretty much need to bulk up in college. Hope this helped you guys out a little bit. This is what I've learned so far pretty much in my first year of college. Gained about 20 pounds or so of muscle so far this year. Probably gonna end up cutting down pretty soon, but this next month we're gonna bulk hardcore, eat as much as I need for my body to gain, and I'm gonna make sure I'm pushing myself in the gym, weighing myself each morning, making sure that I'm going up a little bit. So these are my biggest tips. These are the steps that you need to take to bulk up in college. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate all the support. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you guys like the video. And yeah, we'll be seeing you guys in the next video.
Have some dignity. Dude, apparently we're not within 60 to 90 seconds. Cash. I've been going through some shit that's getting real now. Yeah, people dying